Hey, how's it going everyone? I'm Martin and welcome back. So some really interesting info has unearthed in regards to a character in Destiny 2. In the gameplay IGN Fireteam chat released, they activated an adventure beacon and they were greeted by a new character called Asher Mia. Now this is interesting because this is a name we've heard before in the Grimoire. He was first mentioned in a Grimoire card added with the Age of Triumph called Ghost Fragment Eris Morn. In the card, Eris describes Asher Mia as an Awoken whose arm had been replaced by a Vex arm and his ghost had also become infected by the Vex. So this character actually has Vex limbs, and the Vex fluid could be slowly sending this character insane, because in the gameplay he seems a little bit off and acts a bit like a mad scientist, which could explain why he thought it would be a good idea to replace his limbs with Vex. Now, as we know, each planet is going to have at least one NPC who is going to be there to provide quests and loot for us. In the European Dead Zone we'll meet Devram K, and it's possible that this Asher Mia could also be another quest giver that we'll meet along the way, most likely on Nessus. Now, if you want to see the full gameplay and the full adventure with Asher Mia, there'll be a link in the description, as will everything else I talk about in this video. Moving on here, next we have some other really interesting footage coming from another outlet, Hardcore Gamer, and right here the player is using a pulse rifle from the Trials of Osiris, or Trials of the Nine, or whatever it's going to be named, in Destiny 2. But yeah, this player is using a Trials weapon, and one that is speculated to be an exotic, which, if it is, I'm going to be extremely happy because I've always wanted a Trials exotic that would be quite difficult to obtain. Now, this pulse rifle actually shoots in bursts of 5 rounds. It has a magazine size of 50, so that will be 10 bursts per clip, and this weapon's damage appears to increase with each kill. If you notice, there's also a scarab symbol in the middle just below the sights of the weapon, and it appears to be some kind of meter because it seems to fill up with kills before falling back down. So I'm really curious as to what this weapon does when the meter is filled. I'm guessing that's going to be the sort of unique property or the exotic perk of this weapon. Now, in case you're wondering how we know this could be an exotic, well, if you look at the icon for the weapon in the bottom left corner, it has its own unique shape, whereas every other pulse rifle uses the same generic shape, except for this other exotic pulse rifle that we've seen called Graviton Lance, which also has its own unique shape. So I'm fairly certain that this Trials weapon is going to be an exotic, and I really can't wait to see what it does. Lastly here is a really cool new feature, just something small that I wanted to add on in this video, and that is custom spawn animations. If you notice in this gameplay where the player respawns, there's a symbol of the Guardian crest that breaks as they spawn in. And here in this other gameplay, this Titan respawns, except this time it's the Jade Rabbit symbol. I haven't seen any others just yet, but I noticed these two and thought that was going to be a really cool feature. It's just kind of something small, but it's just another thing for us to customize. So that is all I wanted to go over in this video. As always, I do hope that you enjoyed the video and found it informative. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.